Shalom, shalom. Welcome to the Natzari Jewish woman, wife, and mother. I'm Nava Michaels. As I said earlier, as a branch to our Grit Mothering series, I came across this refreshing post from Sister Kelli Haines over on our mother network, Natzari Yehudess, that I'd like to share, and it's called Growing Weary. So how about you? Are you growing weary? Are you tired? Is this physical life wearing you down? Is it taking a toll? Are you remaining vigilant? Are you guarding? Are you watching and staying alert? As I look around, listen and talk to people, I see many who are weary, many who are becoming worn down, and many who are worn out. This physical life definitely takes a toll on us. This world takes a toll on us. It does wear us down, and it definitely uses us up. It's not easy to remain set apart in this world, especially as women, wives, and mothers. That takes a toll on us because it requires a constant effort and it requires vigilance. And when we are assaulted daily with all the negativity and with all the things that are going on out there in the world, it affects us. Sometimes we're torn too. It's hard to watch some of the things that are happening around us because we realize that the punishment for man's evil is starting. It's already begun. The wrath of YHWH is coming, and it will not be held back. Things that we care about are being torn down and destroyed, and this is just the beginning. It's very easy for us to look for things to distract ourselves and things that will help to make us forget about what we see happening. We want to feel good. We don't want to think about what's coming, what's already here. Many people are living in their own worlds, but they have created for themselves. There are plenty of escapes. There are lots of things to occupy your time. People want to escape the reality of this world. They don't want to recognize and acknowledge the reality of what's happening around them. The truth is, it's not looking very good, is it? We want to play this game and pretend that everything is just fine as the bus is racing full speed towards the cliff. We find in Luke chapter 21, verses 34 through 36. Let me go there and read. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. Luke chapter 21, 34 through 36. And take heed to yourself, lest your hearts be weighed down by gluttony and drunkenness and worries of this life, and that day come on you suddenly. For it shall come as a snare on all those dwelling on the face of all the earth. Watch then at all times, and pray that you be counted worthy to escape all that's about to take place and to stand before the Son of Adam. Yeshua warns us for a reason. He cares about us. The world does not. Don't fall for its lies and deceptions. What can this world offer? Temporary physical things that will not last and that are illusions at best. Would you trade your eternity with YHWH for some temporal thing on this earth? Would you trade what YHWH offers you for something created by the hand of man? The adversary wants our senses dulled. He wants us distracted. He wants to pull us away from the things that are important. People willingly and happily do just as he wants them to do. There are more distractions in our lives now than ever before. We have to be on guard against those things that take up our time and resources. We have to watch out for those things that consume our time. There are things for each of us that are temptations and a danger. We have to understand our weaknesses, and we must be on guard against those things. And we also have to ask ourselves the hard questions, the questions that we must ask if we want to be honest with ourselves, if we truly seek to find YHWH's will in our lives and make it into his kingdom. It's not an easy thing to look into the spiritual mirror and look long and hard at what we find staring back at us. We may not like what we see. It's when we're worn down and weary that we are the most vulnerable, very vulnerable, extremely vulnerable. It takes a focused effort to remain committed to Yahweh's way of life and to keep ourselves set apart to Him. Many don't even realize they're being slowly dragged away and sucked into the world. And it's a cruel and cold place. It's a place of illusions and of false promises. It lies and presents itself in a way that's so attractive and very seductive. It's a place that's not very pretty at all when all the falseness is stripped away and is exposed to the light. It's a place that wears you down and breaks you. A place that wants to possess you, consume you, and rob you of your inheritance. The world was not created this way. What we see is what the evil of men have turned the world into. And we need to have all of our wits about us, all of our senses and discernment working, and to be on guard and vigilant at all times, especially now with all the things that we see taking place around us. We can't become lax and complacent. We'll drown in this world if we do. The darkness will envelop and cover us. And we find in Matthew 24, verses 4 through 8, and Yeshua answering said to them, "Take heed that no one leads you astray. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, and they shall lead many astray. And you shall begin to hear of fightings and reports of fightings. See that you're not troubled, for these have to take place, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and reign against reign, and there shall be scarcities of food, and deadly diseases, and earthquakes in places. And all these are the beginning of birth pains." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? The word of Yahweh makes it very plain that at the time, just before Yeshua's return to this earth, there is a lack of alertness and urgency, a lack of watchfulness and preparation, an attitude of being lukewarm, people who are worn down and whose senses have become dulled, people who have been lulled to sleep and who listen to smooth words from false prophets and teachers. People who look the other way, people who have become weary of watching and paying attention, people who no longer pay heed to the warnings, people who are caught up in the cares of this world, people who have given up and given in. Those are exactly the things we are warned about over and over. Matthew 24, 9 through 14 says, "Then they shall deliver you up to affliction and kill you, and you shall be hated by all nations for my name's sake. And then many shall stumble, and they shall deliver up one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise up and lead many astray. And because of the increase in lawlessness, the love of many shall become cold. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. And this good news of the reign shall be proclaimed in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end shall come." It is those who endure to the end that are saved. Those who do not grow tired, those who stay the course, those who do not become distracted, and those who remain awake, alert, and watching, no matter what they must do to make that happen. Those who have counted the cost and who have determined to see what they have begun all the way through to the end. Matthew 26, 36 to 38. Then Yeshua came with them to a place called Gethsemane and said to the taught one, "Sit here while I go over there and pray." And he took with him Kepha, or Peter, and the two sons of Zebedee, and he began to be grieved and deeply distressed. Then he said to them, "My being is exceedingly grieved, even to death. Stay here and watch with me." This is precisely what we're supposed to be doing now, at this very time. We're to be watching, staying alert, and remaining vigilant. We're supposed to be watching and waiting along with Yeshua. Matthew 26, 39, and going forward a little, he fell on his face and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I desire, but as you desire." Notice what happens next. Verses 40 and 41. And he came to the taught ones and found them asleep, and said to Kepha, said to Peter, "So were you not able to watch with me 1 hour?" Yeshua was disappointed that they'd fallen asleep so quickly, and he left them with a warning. Verse 41, watch and pray, lest you enter into trial. The spirit indeed is eager, but the flesh is weak. We need to listen and take heed to that warning. It's very subtle what happens in people's lives. People don't intend to fall asleep. They don't mean to become lethargic, but it's the weaknesses that come from living in these weak fleshly bodies that cause them trouble, and applies to all of us. We all suffer the weaknesses that are inherent in our weak human bodies. Matthew 26:42 and 43. Again, he went away a second time and prayed, saying, "Oh, my Father, if it is possible for this to pass unless I drink it, let your desire be done." And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. Why were their eyes heavy? They were tired. They were weary of waiting. They failed to realize the seriousness of the situation. They had good intentions, but the flesh was weak, worn down, weary, tired. We must guard against those things, sisters. Matthew 26:44 and 45 says, he left them, went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to his taught ones and said to them, still sleeping and taking rest? See, the hour has come near, and the Son of Adam is delivered up into the hands of sinners. It's easy to see the parallel between that event and where we are right now in the plan of YHWH. We are waiting for Yeshua's return and the establishment of his millennial reign, which will usher in a time of peace, prosperity, and harmony that's never been seen before on this earth. It was 3 times that Yeshua found them sleeping. 3 is an important number in the word of YHWH. It is finality and completion, and it was after the 3rd time Yeshua found them sleeping that he was betrayed. Their opportunity to remain awake, alert, waiting and watching with him was over. They had missed it. At that point in time, they no longer had access to Yeshua physically. He was taken from them. There will come a time in the future when access to Yeshua spiritually will be cut off, and all of those who have grown weary of waiting, whose eyes have become heavy to the point of falling fast asleep, will find that the door has been closed to them. Just the thought of that should be sufficient to keep everyone awake and on edge, watching, waiting, and on alert always. Mark 13:22 and 23. For false messiahs and false prophets should rise and show signs and wonders, to lead astray, if possible, even the chosen ones. And you take heed. See, I have warned you of it all. How do people become deceived? When they're not staying close to YHWH, when they're not paying attention, when they're sleeping and ignoring the warning signs all around them, when they're not discerning Yahweh's spirit and listening to Yeshua's voice. This is a time of trying and testing on the very elect, but Yeshua is warning us ahead of time. Who is awake and who has grown weary to the point of giving in? There are some very serious consequences if we allow ourselves to get lax, become distracted, and go to sleep while waiting for Yeshua to return. We find in 1 Thessalonians 5:1-6, but concerning the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that I should write to you. For you yourselves know perfectly, or completely and thoroughly, that the day of the Lord so comes as a thief in the night. For when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness. We have been given understanding and knowledge, and we have also been warned, so this day should overtake you as a thief. You are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. Over and over again, Yeshua warns us not to become complacent and not to let down our guard and become lazy and lethargic. We're to be growing, overcoming, and preparing for his return. When you're weary and worn down, you're not growing and overcoming. Mark 13, verses 32-37 says this, but concerning that day and the hour, no one knows, not even the messengers in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Take heed, watch and pray, for you do not know when the time is. As a man going abroad, having left his house and given authority to his servants and to each his work, and commanded the doorkeeper to watch. Watch therefore, for you do not know when the master of the house is coming, in the evening or at midnight, or at the crowing of the cock, or in the morning, lest coming suddenly he should find you sleeping. And what I say to you, I say to all, watch. This applies to everyone. And notice that Yeshua is speaking to us individually here. He does not say, lest coming he find them sleeping. He specifically says, lest he find you sleeping. It is personal. People don't just fall asleep all at once. Most people are very zealous at first. It happens over a period of time. Other things begin slowly, subtly creeping into our lives, displacing Yah, and then slowly we begin to lose that excitement and zeal that we once felt towards Yah's word and his way that leads to eternal life. Yeshua cautions us not to allow this to happen. And take heed to yourself, lest your hearts be weighed down by gluttony, drunkenness, worries of this life, and that day come on you suddenly. For it shall come as a snare on all those dwelling on the face of all the earth. Watch then at all times and pray that you be counted worthy to escape all that's about to take place and to stand before the Son of Adam. And he was teaching in a set-apart place day by day, but at night he went out and stayed on the Mountain of Olives. And early in the morning, all the people came to him in a set-apart place to hear him. Watch and pray always. And that's found in Luke 21, 34 through 38. So watch and pray always, sisters. That's what Yeshua says that we must do. Remaining alert, being vigilant, staying on track, and staying the course so that we may be counted worthy. There are many things that can come before us, and YHWH, if we're not careful. Personal ambition, educational pursuits, our jobs, recreational activities, the way we entertain ourselves, and none of these things are wrong in and of themselves. We're the ones who allow our lives to get out of balance and things to get out of control. We allow distractions. We put things in places where they don't belong in our lives. We decide the level of importance we place on things. We are in control of that. We always seem to forget that Yah knows us intimately. He knows our needs, our wants, our fears, our hopes, our aspirations. But he also has a plan for each of us. And he always knows what is in our best interests. He's called each one of us individually. He picked us for a reason and a purpose. We need to hold on and hold on tightly. And I end with Galatians 6, 7 through 9. Do not be led astray. Elohim is not mocked. For whatever man sows, shall he also reap. Because he who sows to his own flesh shall reap corruption from the flesh. But he who sows to the Spirit shall reap everlasting life from the Spirit. And let us not lose heart in doing good. For in due season we shall reap if we do not grow weary. To encourage each and every one of you to stay in Yeshua, stay in the vine. Do not be weary in well-doing. Continue to walk in his ways. Stay in prayer. Be refreshed by the Ruach HaKodesh. Don't be weary, sisters. I just encourage everyone just to, if you need to reach out, you have a sister here. I'm endeavoring to place these broadcasts here on a pretty regular basis. I will try to do them on a weekly basis, time permitting, Yah willing. But I am here. You can also reach me over on Facebook at Nava Michaels. And just stay encouraged, sisters. Yeshua is definitely coming soon. One day we're going to look up, we're going to see him coming in the clouds, and all will be well. He's going to come and straighten everything out. So actually tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my following up with my Grit Mothering series. Until tomorrow, I wish you all shalom.